Oh, here we are. We are here. Are we here? We are here. It's the Shoot Brothers, the one and only Shoot Brothers, the wrestling podcast you all know and love. Hosted by myself, Mike the Shoot Shepherd, Cameron Snowstorm Osborne.
Bang, bang. Flutter, 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 flutter.
Yes, another week of professional wrestling. Lots of good action. We're building towards the Rumble here. We've got Beach Break coming up, but this is just a regular week. But there's nothing really regular when it comes to wrestling. Every episode can be monumental.
There's never anything. Anytime, Mike, I ever want to just kick my feet up, curl up with a good book, put on a warm house coat, the wrestling world just hops in there. There's never a break. There's never certainly a dull moment when it comes to the Shoot Brothers Wrestling Podcast. You're right. The Royal Rumble's in a couple weeks. Revolution a couple weeks after that. We are hot off the shooties, which then led me the shooties just happened. But I do have to say, with Mania coming up, we'll have our second round of prop bets.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, of course. The, new categories can be added, specific things. It's similar to a shooty, but, there's more of a direct competition element to it all, of course. Anyone who can remember, Mike, I won 8-4 in last year's prop bets type of categories. And
I think for me, my biggest moment was predicting the time almost to the minute.
Yeah, you were
on the length.
Yeah, so it was, you guessed 6:55, and the official runtime of the event was 6:55:59. So you were 59 seconds off.
Yeah.
That's
going to be hard to top.
That's going to be hard to top. But of course, the Rumble because the Rumble sparks the beginning of the road. It's sign point in season. Sign point in season. Forgot about that.
That's right. We haven't seen the sign yet. What's the logo going to be this year?
I think they're going to
still avoiding numbers.
I think they're going to Dallas now. To Cowboy Stadium. Okay. I think, Arlington, Texas.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think they've already used a star, so maybe they'll use the cow skull or the bull skull.
Maybe a cowboy hat,
yeah, that too.
But probably we're definitely looking at those Cowboys colors, so that kind of navy blue, or a regal blue and a silver.
Yeah, but we'll get to all that and more, but. Let's just go through our regular wrestling week.
Yeah, let's get...
Are we kicking off the way we normally do?
We are kicking off... Well, we're kicking off with something, I'm telling you for sure. This is going to be a wait on it, folks. Usually we kick off the show with the Tweet of the Week champion. However, sometimes, if the tweet is pertinent to specific events, we will hold off on it just a little bit, just so there's no spoilers. We can experience things in real time as they happen, which is really important. So let's get into our first wrestling show then, shall we? Because like we said, sign point in season is on the horizon, so that means we have some spots we still need to fill for this year's Rumble. So let's get into some Smackdown Live. Okay, folks, it's Friday night. It's time for Smackdown Live. It used to be on Tuesday, but then I think it was on Friday before, though. No, wait, we used to film it on a Thursday and then release it. It's just Smackdown.
Starting off with the Usos coming out, just kind of cutting a promo, putting themselves over, because their title reign's getting pretty lengthy now, probably closing in on 200 days or so, and they announced that there's going to be a fatal four-way to determine their next contenders, and they introduced the teams Los Lotharios, Cesaro, and Mansoor, Jinder Mahal and Shanky, and the Viking Raiders. So, not the stiffest competition here.
Oh, that groan. Yeah, I learned so many things in here. Just even during the announcement. One, since I didn't know Mansoor and Cesaro hung out, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
2, we're still waiting for Veer. And 3, Jinder Mahal is on SmackDown. So there was a lot of moving pieces.
Yeah, some weird stuff going on here, but they just jump right into that match, and just lots of moving parts, like you said, and As always, Cesaro, he deserves better. At first, when they were introduced, I'm like, oh, they're going to bring the bar back. Maybe Cesaro, Sheamus, but nah. Anyways, nothing too special here. Viking Raiders hit the Viking Experience to get the win. And a title shot, which they probably won't win.
Title shot, I think there may have been... two commercial breaks during this one.
Yeah, they got a decent amount of time, but like I said, it really nothing too memorable. No real crazy spots or anything. Just kind of competent wrestling.
Competent wrestling. Isn't that all you can expect from the tag team division?
I mean, when you throw teams together like this, yeah. But, oh well, we go backstage where Naomi approaches Sonya Deville and says, or Sonya's like, you come walking in here with main character vibes, you're just an extra. So, I don't know. They just kind of... Wasn't there something where, like, the heat was turning up throughout the show? And I don't know. It was kind of weird. Sonya's like, when I got this jacket on, you can't fight me. So Naomi rigged the heating so it would get so hot she had to take off her jacket.
So she had to take the jacket off.
Yeah, but they didn't really play into it too
They
much.
didn't. No, you think that would have gone somewhere. But yeah, I think because we got there was like a backstage segment and eventually, Adam Pearce has like t-shirt on and Sonya
showing
Deville,
off those guns.
Yeah. Oh. Sonya Deville has like tie undone down a bit.
Yeah, her vest, the vest.
Yeah, but they could have definitely played into, like mascara running, like the whole locker room getting hot. Everyone's getting sweat stains just walking around. Yeah. Commit, guys, come on.
Oh well, we've got the debut of yet another talk show. At least I think this is the debut of In Zayn with Sami Zayn. In Zayn, I was like, okay, it sounds good. In Zayn in the membrane. Yeah, I mean, it's got it's more creative than the Kevin Owens show.
Yeah, or the electric chair.
Yeah, but anyways, he's out here. He's talking about being the number one contender for the Intercontinental title, in case you guys forgot. And then moves on to Johnny Knoxville and the Royal Rumble, and he's got this ramp set up right near the bottom of the ring because he wants to do a big jackass-style stunt. So he goes to the back. He comes out in this shopping cart with two random dudes pushing him, and he's got a helmet on, but he just keeps hesitating every time they're going. He keeps hesitating to do the jump, and he chickens out. So Rick Boogs shows up, and he's cut his hair. So now he just looks even more. He's just super jacked Freddie Mercury there.
Jacked Freddie Mercury. Yeah, it's a good look.
Yeah, I mean, either way, he's looking good. Nakamura shows up, hits him with a Kinshasa. Boogs picks up Sammy and throws him over the ring onto this landing pad that was supposed to be for the stunt.
Pat McAfee loved this whole segment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, anything to do with Boogs, Shinsuke, Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn holds it down, eh?
Yeah, you ask him to do something, he's going to do it well.
Yeah, I picture, I'm sure there's a lot of other people who could have done this and they would have done a very poor job.
Yeah, and, it's all going to lead to a fun moment with Johnny Knoxville at the Rumble, and who knows, maybe a couple other jackass guys will show up.
Yeah, maybe Preston Lacey can be the one that it is hard to get over that top rope.
Yeah,
they need 6 guys to get Preston Lacey up there.
Then we get Natalya taking on Aaliyah, who's finally making her singles debut here. And before the match, Natalya's got the new edition Guinness Book of World Records, 2022. And they've got some WWE content in it now because Natalya is the world record holder for most victories by a woman in WWE history.
Yeah,
so.
I guess I didn't know that. I again learned a lot from this segment too. One, I didn't know that WWE, it must have, they're paying off Guinness to include those sorts of records. But I think for me, and more importantly, I didn't know that Guinness was still following the model of printing those thick, multicolored, glossy page books. I assumed they would have been all online.
I remember 1999, that was the year that Guinness World Record book. Everybody had that one.
There was one that was purple. There was one that was silver.
Do you remember the show that came out around that time? The Guinness Records Prime Time?
Yeah, it wasn't it just kind of like showcasing people who won the records?
Yeah, and then the other half of it was like a freak show. They just like bring in stuff that were like not necessarily records, just like people putting needles through themselves.
Are you sure you're not thinking about Ripley's Believe It or Not? Because I do remember
Ripley.
that show.
It was the same thing. But on Guinness, one time on Guinness, they just had a feature about a guy who like got shot in the head with a shotgun, but he still lived, and like half his skull wasn't there. And they just showed you all this graphic.
Because see, that feels
it was a lot like Ripley's.
That feels to me more of a that's more of a Ripley's thing.
Yeah, but they definitely had it on Guinness. Because I remember that host, the guy who does NFL games as well, he was on it.
And
anyways,
well, no, these are important. I mean, either you're in two. It's like it's either you're a Ripley's guy or a Guinness guy. You can't cross. So it's important. It's important to stick with one. But anyways, Natalya is here with her 3 world records into a match with Aaliyah.
That's right. And before the match can even start, Natalya just comes out vicious, beats down poor Aaliyah. So the ref calls off the match. And Aaliyah protests. She's like, no, I can fight. And he's like, okay. Changes his mind. So the bell rings, and immediately Aaliyah rolls up Natalya, gets a 3 count. And the ring announcer lets us know that is a new record. WWE fastest win of all time. 3.1 seconds. Beating The Rock's previous record of 4 seconds. So she just beat The Rock.
She
Aaliyah.
just beat The Rock. Wow. Yeah, I feel like this. I feel like this would have meant a lot more if we did the Aaliyah thing earlier. Where if the timing had to have worked out. So, because I feel like she kind of fell into obscurity.
Yeah.
A month ago, 2 months ago, couldn't even tell you when. It would have been. It would have been nice if there was momentum into this. But hey, great way to start momentum.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if they follow up with it, but either way, that's something they can't take away from her. A record, of all-time record in WWE. I mean, it's possible to beat if you just submit someone in like 1 or 2 seconds, but...
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be... yeah, who knows?
I don't know. Anyways, after this, Michael Cole is in the ring to introduce Lita, who comes out to a big ovation, and crowds chanting, loving her, and... she's loving them back, tells Cole all about, how happy she is to inspire this current generation of women's wrestlers and coming back for the Royal Rumble. And, she says, back in my time, we didn't even have the Women's Rumble, but I think I've got one more run left in me. So this year, I'm going to win it. And that's when Charlotte Flair comes out and just starts insulting Lita. And Lita's like, yeah, well, you have a giant head. Don't tip over. And believe it or not, this crowd actually started up a giant head chant. Like, this was kindergarten class.
This was juvenile.
Yeah, like Charlotte's got a big head. But it all ends up with Lita smacking Charlotte right in that big head and hitting a twist of fate, leaving her laid out. So they'll cross paths in that Royal Rumble match, I'm sure. I'm sure
Charlotte Flair is in the match despite being the champion, so
yeah,
rightfully so. Rightfully so. There's no one who can take that throne, so why the hell not?
Well, when you don't defend it, sure.
Who's you're going to defend against?
Well, I don't know. People keep getting. I don't know. Tony Storm quit.
Tony Storm quit.
Sheamus takes on Ricochet, and. I guess Sheamus just trying to get revenge on Ricochet for breaking his buddy Ridge Holland's nose. So, yeah. Later on, Ricochet, he goes for this handspring, but bounces right into a bro kick from Sheamus, who gets the win.
Yeah, one thing I gotta say, it feels like I feel like both of these guys have been in this position before. I think Sheamus with Drew McIntyre and then Ricochet with someone else. I love it when there's a match that's like 8 or so minutes and it's strong, competitive, no expectation, and just it kills the time. Because that to me is like this could have been something. But it's like we don't want to write it into a story. It's like who are two guys who can deliver guaranteed? Great, go out there. Cesaro is often in that position too. It's like because we don't have anything written for like another segment. Just throw two guys out there who can fucking go. I think that should be a shooty. Best fucking get out there and go. Ricochet would win that every single year.
I mean, he'd be up there. That's for sure. Excuse me. Then we had Kofi Kingston come out to read a royal proclamation announcing that King Woods has injured his leg and will miss the Royal Rumble. But Sir Kofi shall still enter.
Sir Kofi. Has anyone else ever taken on like the Prince moniker at a beside the King of the Ring?
Yeah. There was King Mabel and Sir Mo, but they were awful. Everyone hated Mabel.
Sir Mo.
Yeah, Sir Mo. No one even knows. No one remembers him. He was a loser. But anyways, Kofi Kingston stays in the ring to have a match with Madcap Moss, but really nothing too special here. They go back and forth. Moss hits the punchline to get a big win for himself.
Yeah, poor Kofi.
Yeah. Poor Kofi, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Poor all of New Day. They're having a rough couple
The entirety
months
of the New Day gets split up and then fuck off.
Yeah. But the final segment for SmackDown, we got Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins coming out for the face-to-face. Of course, we all know the storied history here, and crowd kind of cheering for Roman a bit, they're acknowledging him, and I mean they're both technically heels, but Reigns just says the Shield days, those are beneath me now, and Seth says to Roman, yeah, I created you, I could destroy you. I'll send you back to riding Pine in the CFL. And Reigns is like, hey man, you're not even the biggest star in your own household. If I wanted to main event the Royal Rumble with a megastar, I would have chose your wife. So everyone's doing the ooh and then the ooh.
Right, yeah, there must have been a couple Edmonton Eskimos fans in the house because that CFL joke got a good pop too. So I was like, yeah. Rough Rider or Eskimos.
Or no, there's something else now. The Elks.
The Elks. Yes. Elks. Let's go Elks.
This is when the Usos show up. They try to jump Seth, but he saw it coming. He just kind of escapes. So there you go.
There you have it.
SmackDown.
We're teasing everything all the time. Yeah. Seth Rollins is probably gonna lose, but
who knows? I mean, none of this was the way it was originally supposed to be, with Brock being the WWE champ, at least. So.
Well, I guess we kind of assume that maybe, or
yeah, I don't know. There's always, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But
and of course, just so everybody else knows, Seth Rollins, this is number 2 of his Brand to Brand Invitational. We're counting it.
Okay,
it counts. It counts, just because you're on. This is literally the definition of not showing up on the other show. Let Cesaro go for that championship again. Why's it got to be Seth?
I don't know. We'll see.
Time will tell. Hopefully.
Yeah. But let's just jump over to the other Friday night show. We're talking about Rampage. 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 And, let's kick off with the Boom himself, Adam Cole, taking on Trent Beretta, who gained a last name, I think. Or was he always Trent Beretta?
I've seen his name stylized like that, and then just Trent with a question mark. Like, I think throughout his career. Like, I've seen old videos of him, and they're labeled as both. I think he's just kind of both.
Doesn't matter either way. Britt Baker now coming down to ringside with Cole, along with the rest of the Elite. Pretty good match here. Trent, He gets a couple near falls. Cole fights back, and then he starts tuning up the band, stomping his foot in the corner, just like Shawn Michaels would. But this time Jericho doesn't say. He just says, "That reminds me of someone." But he didn't say Shawn Michaels this time. But, they fight to the apron. Trent hits a big pile driver. Back in the ring, Cole goes for Panama Sunrise, but Trent catches him, hits a strong 0. Great counter there, but Cole is able to get his foot on the rope, break the pin. And then outside the ring, the Best Friends and the Elite, they all start brawling. Back in the ring, Cole is able to hit the boom, get the win. But Trent put up a real good fight. I thought this was a pretty good match.
Well, I was going to say, ever since, I don't know if it was the return from injury or the haircut, but there has been a little fire lit underneath him. We'll see him a little later on Dynamite. I know he feels like a person now, not just someone in a tag team.
Yeah, not just the third banana of the Best Friends.
Yeah, not just the third banana of the Best Friends or sort of whatever. It feels like, oh, you have a voice now. We'll see a little bit more from him later on. And the Elite and the Best Friends are a perfect group, are perfect groups to go at it.
Yeah. And, like we said, with this addition of Britt Baker, I don't know if it's official, but we want her to be in the Elite, so.
Because that could open the door for Rebel to be in, Jamie Hayter.
Yeah. Power in numbers.
Yeah.
We go to Sean Spears taking on Andrew Everett, who don't know who he is, but he's just here to do a job. So quick squash. Spears hits the C4, gets the win. And then afterwards, he cuts a promo on CM Punk. Says, you know what? You're not going to be fighting a guy who's a one-move wonder with a couple years experience. I'm a 20-year veteran. So it's taking some more shots at Wardlow there.
Yeah, why is everyone shitting on Wardlow for no? I feel like the Wardlow babyface turn is what's coming.
It's got to be soon. After MJF and Punk, I think MJF Wardlow could be right after.
You would have, you'd have to think. It feels like his babyface turn is
It's already on its way. He's doing the powerbomb thing.
Yeah, just
gets the crowd going.
And I think it's just we're don't be mean to him. Why are you mean to Wardlow?
Yeah, he does everything you want. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's going to turn babyface without saying 2 words. Just wait for it.
Then I think we got a music video from the Acclaim, just kind of making fun of Sting and Darby.
Yeah, it was all black and white, all in that style or whatever.
Doing their thing. Mm-hmm. Then some 6-woman tag action. Chris Statlander, Red Velvet, Layla Hirsch taking on Penelope Ford, The Bunny, and Nyla Rose. But this Layla Hirsch, she's been acting heelish for the last little while and continues it here, just kind of forcing tags in behind people's backs and refusing to tag in Statlander, just building tension. But everyone gets their turn eventually, so some good action. Comes down to Statlander and Penelope. She grabs her in this gory special and then rolls forward, just stretching Penelope. Just her head and neck just all over the mat, transitions it right into the spider crab. And Ford is just so twisted up like a pretzel. But then Vicky Guerrero tries to distract the ref. The Bunny comes in, breaks up the hold. So Layla tags herself in. Her and Statlander argue. Bunny shoves Layla into Statlander, knocks her out of the ring, and then rolls up Hirsch. And Bunny gets the big 3 count.
And although Layla Hirsch Layla Hirsch was feeling a little bit heelish. If I'm Team Taz, I got to keep an eye out for someone like this. I feel like this is the exact, if we're kind of adding ladies to all these stables, all these factions. She'd be a good fit. I like that. Yeah, I think she would be she'd be a perfect addition to that style of a group. We have the new championship belt, so I guess in theory there's 100% more things to go for. Yeah. And this partnership between the Bunny and Penelope, I've been liking it. I think they help each other, complement each other. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gets them both on TV a bit more. Yeah, I feel like what we would need would be, let's say, like Penelope Ford and the Bunny, they're together all the time. They start winning all these matches. And then they say in a promo, we need a belt for this, or like what I'm saying, like like, hey, we're clearly the best at this. Who wants to beat us? Even if it's in a tournament, a diamond ring type of thing. I don't know.
Something, yeah. Then Ricky Starks, he's at the commentary table just talking trash about Jay Lethal. So he comes out, cuts a promo. He's like, hey, man, you don't exactly have a bunch of challengers lining up to try to take that belt off you, but I'll challenge you for it. So there you go. Yeah, I haven't really seen too much of him since he debuted in AEW.
Yeah, I bet he's, as we say, crushing it on Dark, I'm sure.
Probably, yeah. But the main event, we had Jurassic Express defending those newly won AEW tag titles against Silver and Reynolds. So just a fun match here. 2 crowd favorites. Silver and Reynolds picking up a 7-0 start here in 2022. So, but yeah, just some real fun tag wrestling here. Crazy move where Jungle Boy goes for a suicide dive, but Silver catches him, lifts him up into a vertical suplex, and then Reynolds dives through the ropes, knocks him down. So just some great teamwork here. Yeah, Dark Order, they go on a roll. They hit their big super combo where they just do one move after the other, and they make the pin, but Jungle Boy just barely kicks out. 2.9. That's when Luchasaurus gets back in the ring. Jungle Boy runs, jumps off his back into a destroyer, and then him and Luchasaurus hit their finisher to get the win. Retain the titles in a real nice match there.
And I'm sure you said it right there, 7-0. I'm sure these guys. I'm sure someone is next in line. And this was a championship match, of course. So getting championship matches is always the first step.
Yeah. Everyone loves the Dark Order. So other than Brody Lee with his TNT title, no one else in the group has had any gold, but someday they will.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder who's next in line. We're seeing the Acclaimed on screen. We're seeing guys like that. So who knows? Because it does feel like the Bucks are a bit removed right now from these championships. Yeah. Almost like they don't even, almost like nowhere near at all.
I mean, guys like Darby and Sting, they might want a shot. They've been teaming up for a long time now.
Yeah, months.
Yeah. I mean, Sting, one last title opportunity. Who knows?
That way, of course, they can say Sting hasn't held a title in 27 years. Because literally everything Sting does these days, have you noticed this, is the first time... Like, someone needs to comment. So, like, they were in Washington for Dynamite, and then somebody had to say, this is the first time Sting has been in Washington since in 22 years.
It's his first time at Tacoma in over 24.
I'm like, it's his first time literally doing everything all the time. So let's just, it's his...
with Jericho, too. It's like, his first time on TNT since 1999. It's like, okay.
You know what? We should do, one of these days, I'm going to do a TNT count, or a TBS count. Because I feel like the commentary team on AEW put over the network way more than Michael Cole would.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more.
I'm going to do a count one time. But didn't I do a count for something once? It was something...
I mean, we've done counts for
We've done counts for the Zero Miedo. I remember doing one for something...
Boss Time?
Boss Time, that's what it was. Yeah, I definitely did a Boss Time count.
I remember one time you were disappointed because we thought there was going to be a lot, and then... He only ended up saying it like once.
Yeah, it was like, damn it, Cole, you son of a bitch. Okay, one of these days I'm gonna do. I'm writing that one down here. I'm doing a TNT TBS count.
All right.
Except when referring to a title, because I think they have to say that it's the TBS title.
I mean, yeah, but that could get messy.
Oh, Jesus. And that was the episode of Rampage. Finish it up.
Yeah. So should we just hop right into the Monday night?
The Monday Night Raw. Let's get into it.
Let's get raw. Let's get raw.
Here we are, big time Bex. Becky Lynch comes out to a big ovation. Lots of Becky cheers. And, she just talks about the Royal Rumble and her upcoming opponent, Doudrop, saying, I'm the only reason she's even in the match. And, she cost Bianca last week, and Doudrop comes out to respond to her, and then Bianca comes out as well, and a bunch of EST chants, and she announces that she's going into the Royal Rumble, as expected. But, definitely one of the favorites to win. And that's when Liv Morgan comes out and says, I'm going in the Rumble as well. And everyone just argues, and we get into Liv and Bianca taking on Becky and Doudrop. And Becky and Doudrop just tagging in against each other's backs early on, causing some trouble. Liv and Becky were having a good back and forth. And then before you know it, Becky hits the manhandle slam. But then Doudrop hits her own partner to break up the pin. And then she drags Becky to the corner, tags herself in, hits the big crossbody to get the 3. And then she goes over to the corner and hits Becky with the bonsai drop. Or the Doudrop.
The Doudrop.
Which is weird. Yeah, so Doudrop looking strong there.
Doudrop looking great. The match was short, because it was also the whole opening segment was the promo, and then the the match itself. Bianca Belair though going back to back.
I think that's what's gonna happen.
So, because we had no fans last Rumble, is that correct? Rumble 2021.
When did fans come back? Because we had fans at WrestleMania, but maybe not.
So that's we were like half capacity. Okay, so there definitely would not have been fans for the Rumble. So, maybe, I can see Bianca Belair going back to back. If for nothing, then so she can get that big crowd pop. Like, if nothing else, you know? And also, she has also stayed up at the top of the division. So at the end of the day, she would be somebody right in the picture anyway. She's definitely making it to the Final Four. Yeah,
and she has that unfinished business with Becky Lynch to win that title back anyway. So
yeah,
I think it's Bianca Belair, and Liv Morgan's the only other one that's kind of been on a push lately. So. Yeah, those are kind of the top. There's going to be returns as well. You never know. A Bayley dark horse, things like that. But we'll get more into that next week.
Next week. Well, we'll pick our winners and losers.
But Kevin Owens coming out next for the KO show and brings out his current best friend Seth Rollins, and just talk about the upcoming match against Roman Reigns and bringing the Universal title back to Raw. And then Owens is like, and then I'm going to win the Rumble and we can fight at WrestleMania. But Damian Priest comes out and says, no one thinks you can win. And, So Damian Priest takes on Kevin Owens. And it was a decent little match. Some near falls here and there. Owens collapses, starts selling his knee like he's hurt. So the ref checks on him. Priest approaches, and then Owens catches him with a stunner. It was all a ploy. And Owens gets the 3, the first pinfall loss for Damian Priest on the main roster, I think.
Yeah, wow, that was a huge. That was the biggest moment of the match. The match was fine. Yeah. The fucking pin, like we said, January 6th, 2021. He was pinned at New Year's Eve.
Full calendar year he went without getting.
Yes, full calendar year plus.
10 days.
Something like that.
Either way, a whole year, and they didn't even really mention it on commentary or anything. It was just another match for them. But
I feel like we've noticed that more than other people have noticed that.
Yeah, so that was very, very rare sight to see there. But who knows?
However, there was a great crowd reaction when Kevin Owens said, "And then I win the Rumble, and then I win it right back," and everyone's like, "Ooh, okay."
Yeah, that could be fun.
Kevin Owens wins the Rumble. Seth Rollins wins the belt, brings it over to Raw. Brock shows back up on Friday with the WWE Championship. Roman challenges there. Roman beats him. See, it all makes sense.
We'll get to all that. But we've got a graduation ceremony. Alpha Academy. Otis is graduating here. New tag team champion, along with Headmaster Gable here. So, they're all dressed up. They got the gowns. They got the caps. Everything going.
The full silk, by the way. My graduating gowns were definitely not that nice.
No. Gable, just kind of gives a nice speech, puts over Otis, but then the crowd starts chanting RK Bro. So Gable gives Otis his diploma, and Otis gives a short speech, just kind of a warning of carnage. And that's when Riddle interrupts, and he's got his own big colorful grad gown on, and he even had his fingernails painted for some reason. I don't know.
I was thinking. I also saw that. It was like green on one finger. I'm assuming either his kids did it, or in the moment I was thinking to myself like, "Oh, this has to do with MSK tomorrow."
Yeah, I really have no idea, but they kind of matched his gown, so whatever. He reads his own speech, and then Gable challenges him to a series of academic events, and Riddle's just like, "Cool, like Billy Madison." Eventually, Orton comes out for a sneak attack on Gable. Riddle attacks Otis, takes one of the red gowns and puts it on Orton, and he accepts their challenge. So we're gonna have a battle of the brains.
Yeah, there was also this joke somewhere in there where Riddle said something, like to light it up, like it's like when you light something up.
Yeah.
And then everyone's like, "Woo!" And he's like, "A candle, guys." And no one would ever say, like, I mean, yeah, I was just, and then I started going on, like, what else could they have said better to light up? Because no one,
a flashlight.
Yeah, like no one who's trying to think that joke is funny is lighting up a candle, and like lighting up I was racking my brain during this promo. It had potential. Every Riddle promo has potential to be great. But yeah, and then I just got distracted thinking like, well, what would have been a better joke?
Yeah, I like the Billy Madison line. That's the one for me.
It was a good one. See,
hopefully it is like that. That's what I want to see. I want the big board and all the categories. I
was always more of a Happy Gilmore kid, though. Gotta say.
Oh, Happy Gilmore is the better film. I'd agree.
Oh, thank you.
It's one of the greatest sports films of all time.
Could be. Not enough people are talking about it. That's for sure.
Just a great feel-good film is what it is.
Yeah.
But the opposite of feel-good, we had another Vince McMahon Austin Theory segment. And, Vince is just like, you lost to Balor again, so you better beat him tonight or I'm going to beat you up. Break every little bone in your body. And then take a selfie with you and send it to your mom. So, yeah.
Jesus Christ, imagine if your boss beat the shit out of you because you didn't do your job properly. And why is he so invested in Austin Theory? Austin Theory is going to have a great 2022. You know it already. He's a younger, a little bit bigger Finn Balor. He has a Vince McMahon fucking look about him.
Well, let's just jump right into that then. Austin Theory takes on Finn Balor.
Yeah, I guess I could have transitioned that one. Sorry about that, Mike.
No, it doesn't matter. Balor, he's in control. He's doing good. He goes for the coup de grace, but then Theory avoids it, hits him with the ATL, and gets a 3. So, huge win for Theory. He got the job done there. And Finn Balor, ever since the rope broke on him, he really just hasn't had anything going.
Yeah, well, it feels like Finn Balor's in this role that Jeff Hardy was released recently, right? But Jeff Hardy was in that role. It felt like he was kind of doing this thing too, where he's just like putting guys over.
Yeah, but Finn, he's like, I don't know, 10 years younger than Jeff. He shouldn't be in that role.
Yeah, he shouldn't quite. I actually, don't quote me on this. I think Finn Balor's almost 40. He has that. I think he has like a bit of AJ Styles.
Everyone is these days.
They're all 40. They're all Damian Priests. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but Finn Balor's definitely, I think, he's gonna be in either he'll be released or just wait until the contract's over.
Yeah, he's one of those ones that'll be a huge pickup.
Yeah,
for Tony Khan.
Or New Japan, or Impact, like anyone.
Prince Devitt.
Anyone who wants
Prince
him.
will return. But let's settle. Rhea Ripley taking on Nikki Nash. Battle of the former friends. But Queen Zelina comes out with Carmella and just starts insulting everyone. And as they're talking, Nikki jumps Rhea from behind, beats her down, and leaves. The bell never rang, so I'll have to wait for that grudge match.
We'll have to wait. Bell never rang, folks.
No, but you will get Omos taking on Reggie. Bell rings. The gag will come running out, chasing Dana Brooke around ringside, and Omos just kind of starts swatting them away like flies. Reggie jumps at him, but he just gets caught midair. Omos lips him up, hits the choke bomb, get the easy win.
And easy win. Like, I get, you give a squash match to a newer talent, right? So they can get over or anything. But this close to the Rumble, do we think that this is more of Omos is a long con thing? Is he actually going to make a difference in this year's Royal Rumble, or is he just going to be the big guy that we need 6 other motherfuckers to take out? The Braun Strowman type of role.
I think it'll be kind of both.
Yeah?
I think he'll have a big part. They'll give him 10 eliminations or something. But I don't think he'll win, nor should he.
Yeah, I think the Omos train is rolling, but it's exactly that, right? It's rolling. So let's not why is the gaggle around here? We don't need to jumpstart this thing.
Yeah, he shouldn't really be messing with Reggie. There's no. I mean, Reggie's way beneath him. But let's go to Maurice, who comes out by herself because she wants to have a solo face-to-face with Beth Phoenix. But Beth comes out with Edge at her side, and Maurice is like, our tag match of Royal Rumble, we got to cancel it, And crowd's hating on her, so she just starts dropping the Miz's lines. She's like, really? Really? I have a microphone. I could be louder than all of you. And crowd just chants, you suck. And she's actually drawing some good heat here. So, but Maurice is like, Beth, come on. We came up in the same era. We should be friends. Our little girls, they should be friends. But Beth just says, shut up. I don't buy it. You must take acting lessons from your husband. Ooh. And then Beth gets in the ring. The Miz shows up, attacks Edge. Maurice hits Beth from behind with her purse. And then she opens up to reveal it was loaded with a brick. So that could be some serious brain trauma.
That would really hurt. Some things would hurt. That would really hurt.
Yeah, a brick in a bag. Damn. But hey, that's heat. That's heat.
That's the way. That's just the way it is, baby.
Yeah. So we'll get some weapons at that Rumble match, I'm sure. Then we get Street Profits and Mysterios taking on Dirty Dogs, Apollo Crews, and Aziz. So big 8-man tag. Wrestling was okay, but nothing on the line here. Just kind of a tune-up for the men's Royal Rumble. Just bodies flying everywhere, staying in ring shape. But eventually Montez Ford hits from the heavens to get the win for his team. And then afterwards, the Mysterios dump them from behind and laugh. They're like, haha. And then Ray does it to his own son, Dominic. Dumps him to the floor. And this isn't even in the real Rumble. So some father he is.
Well, and it's funny that happened because I'd feeling like for the past, maybe a little while, we cooled off on the separation of Dominic and Ray. And then they were back together in this match against the clear heels, and I'm like, okay, I guess maybe we're cooling off. But I think, one of them eliminating the other is going to be our big Rumble spot. It's going to be a big Rumble spot.
Yeah, I think
they're going to do the work together, and then maybe Ray. I think Dominic would turn if anything.
Yeah, I think that's the way they should do it.
And looking forward to that if it happens. I think it'll be a fun reaction.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of these little storylines they can kind of play off during the Rumble itself. Mm-hmm. So we'll get into that next week. But then they kind of gave us this real nice, in-depth video piece to hype up Lesnar versus Lashley. All that kind of old school amateur wrestling footage. They always do great with those. Mm-hmm. But, another thing, we had Alexa Bliss, another therapy session. Pretty much more of the same. They're doing word association. She just responds Lily to everything.
Yeah, I don't like these.
Yeah, I didn't.
I don't like the. Did you see? But okay, so here's what it is, and Mike, I'd love your, in a wrestling times past, how did this kind of thing work, right? Because certainly when there are elements of the supernatural, a la Undertaker type of things, right, where things happen and nobody knows, and we're suspending our disbelief anyways, whatever. Now, to me, it feels weird when it interacts with the real world, because it kind of gives off this thing of, oh, we're still in reality. Almost like in a Fiend style, right? Remember we would always talk about or we joke that the Firefly Funhouse is just at whatever arena they're in, but it's like, no, it's supposed to be this thing that's separate, because if we saw the camera pan out and they're just next to Gorilla, it would maybe take us out of have already playing pretend. So I think some of this Bliss stuff for me just falls into that category where I wanna play pretend, but as soon as we kind of bring it into the same room that is Vince's office or wherever the fuck we're doing it, right? Then I'm like, oh, this is now the real world. Now I just think you're a crazy person.
Well, I think they do want you to think she's a crazy person, but
yeah, I guess the payoff would be in some kind of Shutter Island type of reveal, the Fiend never actually existed and everything that played out was just in Alexa Bliss's head. Because then I'm like, okay, now we're on to something, right? You made up this whole thing and then you Fight Clubbed us into believing it happened.
Yeah, I don't know.
Write that, Vince. Who has Bruce Pritchard's number? Because I'm gonna pitch that one. It's 555.
Well, I mean, in the last week I sent you that little list of the top selling merch, and Lily was right up there at number 2. So I don't know. They might just go back to the way things were. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. God damn it! Congratulations, Lily.
Yeah. But we got a main event for this episode of Raw. It was not the therapy session. So Bobby Lashley takes on Seth Rollins. Just a battle of the number 1 contenders here, and pretty good match. Early on, they fight to the floor, to the ringside. Rollins just kind of working over Lashley's knee, but Lashley's got the power advantage still. So, but at one point, Seth hits him with the pedigree, but Lashley kicks out of that. So he fights back, tosses Rollins over the top rope, or off the top rope with a big suplex, and at this point, that's when Shelton and Cedric show up and attack Lashley, causing the DQ, ruining the match. But Lashley's able to fight back and kick their ass 2-on-1 anyways. Spear through the barricade, which they've been doing that a little too much lately. But back in the ring, that's when the Usos appear and they hit Seth Rollins with a double super kick. So they got him, leave him laid out to end the show.
Or I would have to say the spear through the barricade, it's not that they've been doing it too much, it's that it's always to that same spot. There's two, it's either beside the timekeeper's area or on the opposite side of the timekeeper's area. If we're going to break the barricade into the second row. Take out some fucking fans or something. Let's add some excitement to this spot, because you're right, it's just going to keep playing out. And it's funny, both of these guys are lined up for different championship matches at the Rumble, so couldn't really have either of them win or lose, which is weird to then put them both on in the main event. Right? Both the challengers. It's these guys could have had separate matches against separate people, but we went for this instead.
Yeah. Not really a big deal either way. No finish, and we'll see. Got one more week to hype it up.
One more week to hype it up. Looking forward to it, though. That was our whole episode of Monday Night Raw, though.
Indeed.
Mike, should we take a break?
Yes.
Let's take a break. We're going to come back. We've got some Dynamite. We've got some NXT. We still have to crown a Tweet of the Week champion. So stick around in the second half. We'll be right back.
Let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, brother, yeah, let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, yeah, let's shoot, brother, yeah.
Back here with part 2 of the podcast here, folks. Thanks for sticking it out through the break. Hope you're all inside. Hope you're all staying out of the cold. God, I looked out there for a minute and just
we're at minus 16 right now here, but going to go down to minus 20. I don't know. Minus 27. Holy shit, it just keeps going as I look further in time. Minus 27 by later on.
Wow.
Woo! Yeah, chilly out there, folks. Stay inside, stay cozy, listen to some Shoot Brothers.
Yeah, why the hell not? Why the hell not listen to some Shoot Brothers wrestling? Let's get into the rest of the wrestling week then, shall we? Main roster stuff over and done with. We got the Rumble, but who cares? Because it's that annual time of year for the annual Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. So if you know we're talking about tag team classics, we must be talking about NXT 2.0.
NXT, what does it mean? I don't know, but it's some good wrestling. So NXT, watch and see. Gotta tap out a count out of 1, 2, 3. So that's right. Live. Are they still calling it the Capitol Wrestling Center? I can't even remember.
They don't
2.0 dome.
Yeah, they don't call it the CWC anymore, which is probably just part of the branding.
Yeah.
But I don't know what they call it now that I'm just thinking about it.
Splash Zone.
Probably.
Anyways, LA Knight comes out to start the show, getting a good reaction. They're chanting his name, which may be a first. I can't remember an LA Knight chants.
No, well, his entire duration on the within NXT has all been fanless. Or they had those, you remember NXT from last year, 30 fans in the room or something.
Yeah, but no, this transition, it seemed kind of just quick and sudden and not really even, I don't know, he's just a babyface now. There wasn't even really a big moment where it turned. It just kind of, he joined the War Games team, and ever since then he's kind of been more on the good guy side.
Which is, hey, I'm down.
Hey, the first, I think, couple months of 2.0, we kind of didn't see much of him, so he's a great talker, great wrestler. Cuts a promo here on Grayson Waller, who Waller comes out and interrupts, and he's got a restraining order against Knight. And LA's like, okay, you got me, but you don't have a restraining order against this guy. And that's when Dexter Lumis music plays, and Grayson turns around to face the ramp, but Lumis slides out from under the ring, attacks him, and then Knight tells Waller, you can either drop this restraining order or you can fight Lumis, up to you. So he picks Lumis, so we just go right into that. They kind of go back and forth for a while. Dexter gets thrown to the floor. Waller distracts the ref. And then this mysterious, long-haired, bearded man in a suit shows up. He attacks Lumis. Just throws him into the ring post. Back to Waller. Takes advantage. Hits his rolling stunner to get the win. But who is this big guy? I think I recognize him.
Who do you recognize him?
I don't know. I feel like we've seen him before.
Maybe we have...
he's not, I can't remember. I feel like he was in one of those failed things. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Whatever. We'll find out whatever his new name is.
We'll find out whatever the hell. We'll find out whatever the hell it is. Dexter Lumis. I don't get how Dexter Lumis isn't around more. Does that make sense? Yeah, no. When he first kind of came up a couple years ago, I thought he's one of the next North American champs. He's going to be one of the featured guys. Well, not even a couple years ago, maybe a year ago. Maybe a year ago, yeah. And then kind of ever since the wedding, he has really cooled off. We haven't seen him much. Which is crazy to me because this version of NXT seems so like everyone has a gimmick. Just Adam Cole being Adam Cole isn't enough of a gimmick. You need a thing like you're Tony D'Angelo or Chase U. We got all these sorts of things going on, and Dexter Lumis seems to fit perfectly in there. Like he has a gimmick. He's a serial killer, kind of. He main evented the debut episode of 2.0. Exactly, right? The possibly kayfabe, possibly not kayfabe wedding. We're still not sure. But yeah, he seems like he would be a guy that would be pushed, especially in the lack of a main event scene. I think, Lumis and Braun Breaker. I mean, right now, Dexter Lumis has one of the most experience on the roster. Braun Breaker probably needs a challenger. Yeah, that could be a good match.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, Dexter Loomis, ever since the marriage, just kind of him and Indy. It's done both of them harm.
Like, yeah, how she
But-
wasn't able to kind of stand up tall and take control of this
Yeah.
women's division.
Yeah, she was just always, oh no, Dexter's hurt. But, oh well, let's move on to the first round match of the Dusty Cup. On the men's side here, we got the Creed Bros taking on Briggs and Jensen. Just a big physical match here. Two of the big power teams of the division. And yeah, lots of good teamwork. Outside of the ring, one of the Creed brothers, I haven't learned who's who yet. Or I don't even know their first names. Do you?
Brother One. Of course, there's
Yeah.
Brother One.
They have names, but can't remember them. Doesn't matter. One of them spears Briggs into the barricade, and it actually bent the metal. Dented the thing.
See, now this is how you spear someone to a barricade. Have it not break.
Yeah.
It's a whole
there's
new
nice
thing.
move. And then back in the ring, the Creed brothers hit this cool suplex into a razor's edge, followed by a big lariat, get themselves the win. So Creed brothers move on to the semifinals.
To the semifinals, I think we saw the entirety of the bracket. We did see the entirety of the bracket. So yeah, that was Briggs and Jensen taking on the Creed brothers on their side. Also, Grizzly Young Veterans taking on Andre Chase and Bodie Hayward.
Yeah, I think that's the first time we learned his name.
Yeah. On the other
Bodie.
side, we have MSK taking on Jacket Time in the first round, and then also Malik Blade and Edris Enofi taking on Legado del Fantasma. Can kind of see maybe where some things might lead towards, but who knows?
Yeah, who knows? I'm not sure if they showed the women's bracket yet. I think there were still some people campaigning to make teams on this episode.
Yeah,
sure.
well, because who the fuck it's gonna? We got Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter.
Yeah,
That's about it.
Toxic Attraction.
Toxic Attraction. Well, they're already the champs.
Yeah, but they can still.
They could. Okay.
I mean, maybe not. We'll see.
I don't know.
Let's just go along to Dante Chen, who we saw at the debut of 2.0, but he injured his leg and he's been missing. But he's back to take on Guru Raj. Dante, though, his claim to fame, the first WWE wrestler from Singapore. So, but didn't get a whole lot of time here to showcase his talents because early on in the match, Duke Hudson shows up and attacks everyone, just kind of causing the match to be thrown out. And his hair pretty much back to what it was. So, no real stakes lost from that hair versus hair thing.
Yeah, when we were saying that this whole time, right? Hair versus hair has to be between two people who have hair,
Yeah.
and a lot of it, and it's recognizable, not
I mean,
just
Grimes, he won the match and he looks more different because he got
because he
trimmed
got the
beforehand.
half trim halfway through.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was a thing. He's asking Bruce Pritchard or something like, "Okay, I want to cut my hair. It's so hot. It's so much to manage." And they're like, "Okay, well,
maybe they asked him to do it. They're
Yeah,
like, "Hey,
well-
man, you gotta trim that thing." Yeah, we don't like it.
you gotta trim that. You gotta trim that thing."
Yeah, I don't know, but either way, it looks like Duke Hudson's back and whatever. Tony D'Angelo comes out next for memorial for Pete Dunne. He's got the whole thing, the casket, the flowers, the picture, everything's there. It's a funeral. Starts talking, but it's all a farce, of course. He's just making a joke of it. And he says it's about time to add some gold around this waist. How about that North American title? So Carmelo Hayes comes out with Trick, and they're like, yeah, right. Start talking some trash. And then Cameron Grimes comes out and says, no way, boys. That's the prize I got my eye on. And, he gets in the ring. Tony takes a swing. Grimes ducks. And then he smashes the picture of Pete Dunne right over Tony's head. So I guess there you go. Maybe we'll get a triple threat North American title match or something.
Yeah, triple threat. I think with no takeovers, we have nothing to work towards.
Yeah, they'll probably just keep doing these little. What was it last year? I think they did
Maybe the Great
V-Day.
American
Didn't they do Valentine's Day thing?
I
think they did. It was like V-Day or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess we had a Great American Bash at one point.
Yeah. Either way, they'll build. I mean, they'll still do takeovers. They had War Games in December, and maybe we'll have a WrestleMania one, but certainly nothing for Royal Rumble weekend like they have in the past.
No. Well, exactly. There would have been a full takeover coming up in a couple weekends.
Yeah. But moving along to Kaylee Ray taking on Ivy Nile. So, toughest opponent yet here for Ivy, and pretty solid match. Ivy pulling out some cool new moves, including this. She does a DDT, but she does it with her leg. Just wraps those big legs around your head and drives your head
Plants
down.
ya.
Yeah. But Kaylee fights back. She looks to hit the KLR bomb when Mandy Rose shows up, jumps on the apron, which allows Nile to catch Kaylee in a roll-up, gets the win. So big win for Ivy Nile. And then afterwards, Toxic Attraction just beat down Kaylee until Persia Pirotta, Indy Hartwell come out, make the save. So just chaos everywhere.
Yeah, even up the odds in a way, helping us get another women's tag team here. Toxic Attraction have been the champions now for months.
Yeah, I want to say since, November?
Yeah.
Did they win at Halloween Havoc, maybe? I don't know. At least, yeah, months. Months now. They need some challengers, so hopefully some of these teams will step up.
Someone needs to step up.
Yeah. Then we got this vignette for Saray, who is returning soon with a new look, a new gimmick. Not quite sure. It was kind of like a nerdy schoolgirl, but not in a sexualized way, just like a straight up. Yeah, she had like a big sweater, some glasses on. I don't know.
Yeah, I also, I don't know. Yeah, the glasses was really my big takeaway. We'll have to see.
Yeah, they were like Harry Potter. Like,
was she hurt? Is that what happened?
I guess so, because they kind of hyped her up. She came in, and they didn't do much. I mean, it's the Frankie Monet thing all over again. But, well, let's move on. We've got another Dusty Cup quarterfinal match. Legado del Fantasma taking on Malik Blade and Adris Sanofi. Just some nice fast-paced action here. Santos Escobar trying to interfere on the outside, so Braun Breaker comes out and literally just carries him away. And then back in the ring, Blade rolls up wild, gets a 3. So the bracket has been busted. They keep saying it's
the
Blade
bracket.
Yeah, advancing there. Malik Blade and Andreas Sanofi.
What felt weird about this is that this matchup felt to just be the angle between Escobar and Braun Breaker.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely benefited those guys.
Like,
with a free win.
couldn't you have set up Breaker Escobar in any other way? Like, I guess you could have seen, because Blade and Anofi won the match. I have no clue what they can do.
Yeah, I mean,
they keep winning, but don't get to show it.
I guess, I mean, on the other side, Legado del Fantasma winning wouldn't have really done much.
I don't like them anyways.
Yeah. So Escobar was on the sidelines, so he didn't take the loss, so it doesn't really matter. And neither team would win the tournament, I don't think. But, yeah, we'll see.
Okay, yeah, we'll have to see. Looking forward to it.
Then we got a backstage promo from Solo Sikoa, and he reveals this nasty Freddy Krueger-style burn on his face as a result of that fireball that Boa shot at him. So some serious damage.
And and you talk to Randy Orton. Hopefully we can keep this fire look up.
No, I mean, that kind of scar, that should be permanent. He should be having to wear that every single week now for the rest of his career.
For the rest of his career. The rest of it.
Dakota Kai takes on Yulisa Leon after this, and Dakota just being very cocky. She knows she's got her opponent outmatched, but Leon fights back a bit. She hits this cool fall-away slam into a bridge. Don't see that often, but didn't matter in the end as Dakota fights back, hits the big pump kick in the corner, get the win. But Dakota, she needs a direction. She's, if she's not going to get an NXT title reign, maybe throw her in the Rumble, call her up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, then what are we doing? Charlotte Flair needs someone to go up against. Let's get her up there.
Yeah, Dakota would be a cool opponent for her. Something new.
Mm-hmm.
Then we get the main event. Roderick Strong taking on Walter, who appears to be here to stay in America for now.
Two
which is
weeks
pretty
in a
great.
row.
Yeah, and rumors are, I don't know, he's dating someone who I think lives in America, so he's a lot more open to the idea of living here.
Ooh, green card marriage. Okay, okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, crowd is pumped. Everyone loves seeing Walter, chanting for him right away. He's just doing what he does best. Just great old school wrestling style. Massive chops by both men. Just huge slaps heard all around the ring. Yeah, just going back and forth. Crowd loving it every minute. This is awesome. They're chanting everything. They fight their way to the top rope. Roddy hits a huge superplex, makes the cover. But Walter kicks out, and then he fights back, beats Roddy down, hits the massive power bomb, gets the win. Excellent match. But then, as they go to announce the winner, Walter cuts them off and says the winner is Gunther. So, new name. I hate it. Avi, I'm sure you probably saw there was a bunch of controversy online about the name. Certain trademarks and things.
The name has sparked only controversy, and let's get into the controversy by crowning our brand new Tweet of the Week champion. It's the Tweet of the Week. It's the Tweet of the Week. So here's the deal. Here's the deal. January 13th, 2022, WWE files a trademark for the name Gunther Stark. After a quick Google search of the name Gunther Stark was a high-ranking U-boat Nazi commander. I don't know.
Yep.
That's all there really is to be said right there. Looks like WWE also Googled something and realized that, but they didn't put the brakes on entirely. They just maybe didn't introduce the second half of the name, which would directly imply not like the Nazi's name.
Yeah. So, I mean, this whole thing, there was a lot of hot takes on it. And, even without it, there was no need for the name change.
Well, I get the name change. You know, it feels like if you're right and he's dating somebody here or whatever it is, like the fully like Walter, you are now in WWE. You know, you're now here in America full time. This is your gig. He was named Walter before WWE, and if they want his name, we know how this works, right?
Yeah. No, but the whole Nazi argument, that thing I think was a little overblown because, I mean, they're just two common German names. There was 8 million Nazis, and I guarantee you there were ones named Walter.
No, but that's it, of course, right? It's like, yeah, there were millions of them, but we don't know their names. The ones we do know the names of, we think we could have.
But I mean, this guy, he's not. You won't find him. There's no Wikipedia entry on this guy. He was just some guy. Obviously, his name exists. He's out there. But if you pick any two German names and put them together, you're probably going to find someone who was a Nazi.
Well, I would just be curious. Well, it really, I think, for me, goes to show how much research WWE does about these trademarks or their names or anything. Like, if we typed in, and it doesn't have to be anything, we typed in Tony D'Angelo, would anything come up? For all we know, there's like... like the Michael Bublé of Italy is also named Tony D'Angelo or something, right? And they could have been like, oh, okay, shit, let's go with another Italian-American sounding name.
There's an NHL player named Tony D'Angelo.
There we go, right? And any of these. Carmelo Hayes. What if there's, he's the best bullfighter in Australia, is also named Carmelo Hayes. I have no idea, So I think it really opens some insight to how much research they actually do into some of these names, or, like crowd, or not crowd, like... You ask, what's it called when like a company focus groups, like that type of thing or whatever. But all that being said, our Tweet of the Champion has to go to a man who is quite familiar, probably with what Keith Lee is Walter is going through. Oh, Gunther. Oh my God, I got to say that now. Because brand new Tweet of the Champion, first time at Keith Lee. Remember Keith Lee was released maybe about 3 weeks after being given a moniker of Bearcat. When he just reached out, man, if what I'm hearing is real, poor Walter.
Yeah, still waiting on Keith Lee. Hopefully, is that 90 days coming up soon, I hope?
For the Bearcat? Who knows?
Yeah, he should be showing up somewhere soon. But either way, he just won a championship on this show, Tweet of the Week.
And in this CWC, in our contained environment, you can contain... you can't contain a stadium full of people yelling, Walter... Walter, but you could probably contain like a live studio audience side of people from saying it. So be prepared to have that pushed down our throats in the next in the coming weeks as they really try to tell us, we know you hate it, it's not going back, so you better just get used to it.
Yeah, probably won't take that long though.
Yeah,
I mean Gunther. It's only half a name that changed. You still get the on the end.
Well, yeah, I don't know what'll be longer, right? Like, fuck, or they just fucking release him. You know, the name doesn't get over, and then they release him. His 60 days are up, and then he goes back to being Walter somewhere else. Like, isn't that also kind of like the system?
Yeah, that's that's 50-50. It's either that or
yeah. It's honestly either the name gets over or it doesn't, and he's released. Too funny. Keith Lee, you're our Tweet of the Week champion. Let's move on to our final show, our final wrestling show of the week. Of course, we're live on TBS in Washington for the first time in 22 years. We're talking about some All Elite Wrestling Dynamite.
AEW. All Elite. They coming for you, Vince. Better watch out. It's too sweet.
Where big show, a lot of matches on the card, but possibly the biggest thing that was, I think they came out just 2 or 3 days before the Dynamite aired. Jon Moxley is returning, so that's exactly how the show kicks off. Enormous ovation. Everyone in there singing their wild thing. Everyone's stoked. He kicked a garbage can. Fans went off.
Oh yeah, he threw a water bottle. Someone was there, said he nailed the security guard right in the head with it, but she was okay.
Ah, good.
But said it was like full.
Security guards are never looking in the direction of the action. That's always the worst part. It's like when you see a concert and all the people standing at the front of the stage just looking out for all the sketchy stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, Moxley, he's been gone 3 months. Personal stuff, we all know the story, but you can see he's looking better. He's looking slimmer. He's looking great here. Tons of love from the crowd, of course. Most of them, they were all chanting his name, and he even looked a little emotional. A rare sight from Moxley when he gets in the ring. Just kind of takes a minute, but then when he goes to start speaking, some fan just yells some long garbage. Couldn't quite. He said something like "Get out of the ring" or "You're garbage" or something like that. No idea, but Moxley just says, "Hey, go fuck yourself," and then points to security and says, "Get that guy out of here."
Oh, it was huge. I yelled when that. Woo!
Oh yeah, the fans all went woo. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that was our first F-bomb ever on AEW.
That was definitely our first F-bomb. And I went back a couple times to try to hear if I could. If I could hear what he was saying. I couldn't manage. I couldn't figure it out. But
yeah,
you could hear
on social media. The gist was people think he was just like, "Oh, you're garbage. Get this garbage out of here," or something like that.
And especially in that, you could hear a pin drop, which made this person's voice so much
stand out. And just look
Moxley just go, "Shut the fuck up. Get this guy out of here." Everyone's just like, "Yeah, fuck that guy."
That was awesome. Yeah. Everyone loved it. And yeah, they didn't even try to censor it. Like, they didn't hit the button, just let it go. Our first F-bomb. It was perfect, obviously unscripted.
Thanks, TBS.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But yeah, then he gets more personal, just talks about his demons. He had dreams where he had this literal just dark cloud following him everywhere. Nobody gets through life unscathed. I got more scars on my body than the average guy, but the important ones are the scars we carry on the inside. They're harder to see, and we try to cover them up, pretend they aren't there, but those are scars to be proud of. They tell your story, give us strength, make us who we are, and nobody should be afraid to bear themselves. And your scars make you who you are. I don't run from my demons. I just beat the shit out of them. So for everyone around the world that supported me and had my back, thank you. And get ready, because we're going on a ride, baby. The year of 2022. I'm going to grab the wrestling world by the balls. And, he says, you thought I was dangerous before? Well, these days, all I drink is blood. And then slams the microphone down. So just an amazing, passionate promo here. 99% of the crowd just behind him, cheering every step of the way, except for that one asshole. But early contender for promo of the year here from Jon Moxley.
It was. It really was. And, the promo is so many things, right? But I love the everybody in the arena, except for that one asshole, is listening to what you have to say. How you draw a crowd is huge. Moxley's first time on TBS, JR let us know. And he did it with a bang. Can't wait to see what his next opponent is, if he has a match at Revolution. Just what's next,
Yeah, I mean, he's got a claim. He was supposed to be in the finals or the semifinals of that tournament, so he could be challenging Hangman.
He has some kind of right to a claim, maybe got to get through Daniel Bryanson these first. Sorry, Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, get that match we never got. That would be fun to finish that. But let's get into some wrestling action. Orange Cassidy, Chris Statlander taking on Adam Cole and Britt Baker in a mixed tag match, not intergender, so you're not supposed to fight each other.
Now, I did hear this. Was this the first mixed gender match on Dynamite? I did hear somebody say that.
May have been. Wasn't quite
a mixed tag team because JR. It was really funny. JR like a 65-year-old or like your 70-year-old uncle who wants to say the right thing but sometimes doesn't. Made it very clear he was like the men have to fight with the men and the lady. The lady, they didn't fight each other. It was like he started with such pure of heart that he was realized, oh no, I'm gendering. This is bad.
Yeah.
Abort. and he got out of there pretty quickly. We know you're trying, JR. Don't worry. We all love you.
We all love JR.
We all love you.
And of course, they break the rules a bit. Orange Cassidy, he does his little soft kicks there to Baker, but Britt cuts him off by stomping right on his toes. So just a lot of fun in this match. Four of the crowd favorites doing their things. And a great double team move where Statlander, she holds Baker up in this long, stalling vertical suplex while Cassidy just slowly runs the ropes and then pushes them both over to complete the suplex. Big cheer from the crowd. Everyone loves it.
That was a lot of fun.
And then this, I don't think I've ever seen Cassidy do this. He flexed his muscles after. I've never seen him pose like that. Him and Stat. Britt, at one point, she hits Cassidy with a curb stomp. So Statlander sets Baker up for the 450 splash. But then Adam Cole jumps on top to protect her. So Statlander just says, whatever, hits them both with the 450. And then the men tag in. Cassidy hits the beach break, but Cole kicks out. And then out on the ramp, Britt hits Statlander with a destroyer. So back in the ring, Cole tries to hit his own, the Panama Sunrise. Or he does hit it, spikes Cassidy hard onto the ring. But he kicks out. So Cole and Baker, they go and grab the timekeeper's table, set it up beside the ring. But then Orange Cassidy comes flying in with the orange punch. Adam Cole ducks, so he hits Britt, and she falls off the apron, breaks through the table. But while the ref's busy checking on her, Cole gets revenge with an uppercut right to Cassidy's balls, and then he hits the boom. Ref gets back in the ring, makes the 3 count. So, I thought this was a really fun match.
Yeah, me too. And fun was exactly that. Everyone, these are 2 of the tops, or 4 of the tops, I should say, right? Orange Cassidy is like the fucking man in AEW. And I feel
fans love all four.
Fans love every single person in this one. And I think a little bit later on, possibly right after the match, we do get a backstage promo with Adam Cole where he challenges Freshly Squeezed Orange Cassidy to a match next week at Beach Break, unsanctioned, no DQ, lights out.
Yeah, I mean, lights out. The last lights out match we saw was with Adam Cole's girlfriend Baker versus Thunder Rosa. So high bar to live up to.
Yeah.
But hey, I mean, Beach Break. That's the name of one of Cassidy's moves. So does that give him a home field advantage?
Is Cassidy one of these pillars?
I'd say he's one of them.
How is he
He's
not
a fifth
kind
or
of
sixth
included?
pillar.
Yeah, he's sort of.
I mean, on my list, I'd even put him above maybe Sammy Guevara. But
that
who knows?
tongued out motherfucker. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I do wonder. So, Orange Cassidy, another one of these guys. You know, he's almost 40. Is it like flat out an age thing that it's like, oh no, we're looking at the people who are 28, like under 30. They're the pillars, right? Is Orange Cassidy too old to be a pillar? Because it sort of feels like he's one of the most popular wrestlers on the planet. It feels
I think he's going to hold a title at some day, whether it's a TNT title or even a world title. I think he'll hold a singles title at some day, so he's yet to peak.
Of course, yeah. Hopefully. Geez, I think the last time the only title opportunity he had was that triple threat with Kenny Omega and Pac.
Yeah,
which was a banger of a match too. So
yeah, and that should be a big match next week. I mean, are we gonna see Orange Cassidy bleed? Does he bleed? We'll see.
Yeah,
just the juice. Squeeze out some of that juice.
Some of that orange juice.
Yeah. But then we go backstage, some tension, of course, some tension between Chris Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz as they tell Chris, hey man, maybe Eddie Kingston's right. Maybe you are the reason why we're not tag champs. You know, all those other groups, the Acclaim, the Elite, Garcia 2.0, why are we always fighting your battles for you? When do you ever have our backs? So, good points.
All good points, all good points made by Santana and Ortiz, and I think things that you and I have been saying for a long time. Also, especially with this new jet black hair, Chris Jericho, it's supernatural, guys. Don't worry. Chris Jericho's hair is naturally that black. So I just want to nip that one in the bud.
All right. Well, CM Punk looking to nip Sean Spears in the bud as we enter part 2 of the Labors of Punk.
Pretty much, right? Labors of Cody, Labors of Jericho, Labors of Punk.
Yeah. So, Punk versus Spears. Right off the bell, Spears runs at Punk, who catches him, hits the GTS just like that. Quick, easy win. And I don't have the information, but could this be an AEW record? We just saw Aaliyah said it. WWE record. Is this the fastest AEW win ever?
Yeah, I can't think of another one shot, like one maneuver victory. I mean,
maybe on Dark someone did it, but I can't be bothered.
I feel like even for Dark that would be a little quick.
Yeah. So, I don't know. They didn't mention it, but maybe next week they'll be like, hey, CM Punk just set a record.
Maybe. We'll surely wait for Excalibur to tell us yes or no.
Yeah. But then MJF tries to sneak attack Punk, but Punk grabs him by the scarf. So MJF just runs off, leaves the scarf behind, like Taylor Swift at Jake Gyllenhaal's house. So maybe he'll write a song about it. We'll see. But we go backstage once again where Billy Gunn talking to Christian. He's like, hey, tell your boys in Jurassic Express, my gun club, they're rank 4. They deserve a title shot. And Christian's like, you guys win a lot, but you never win the big one. So Billy gets mad, beats him up, him and the gun club. So, I don't know. That's a feud. I don't care. I don't care about the gun club still.
Well, yeah, because I feel, and I don't know this, but I think all their matches are on Dark or Elevation, so we never see them. So it's one of those records where you're like, hey, these guys are, You know,
Yeah, we see them. They're like, they're 30-1. We're like, yeah, but against who?
Yeah. I've only seen your loss. So
Yeah.
as far as I'm concerned, you're trash. Fucking get in line behind Silver and Reynolds. You know, get behind the Dark Order.
Yeah, pretty much. Then we had Cody Rhodes coming out. Mixed reaction as usual. Lots of boos. He goes under the ring and sets up a big ladder right in the middle. So I think we know what he's getting to, but it takes a while to get there. At first he talks about CM Punk and the pipe bomb and how he lived it or something. And there was some more heckling in the crowd. Just a lot of chanting, shut the fuck up throughout the whole promo. And I don't know. Cody looked like he was getting a little rattled at points, but he says, yeah, you want to know why I won't turn heel? Because you cheered me when I needed the most when I was building this company. And Cody says, if you're a journalist who covers what we do and disagree with anything I say tonight, you're not a journalist. And I'm like, what? That doesn't sound very... He's saying if you don't agree with me, your opinion means nothing. That's not very fair.
Maybe he was talking to one person, like Meltzer or like Alvarez specifically, and maybe we didn't catch, because I also didn't catch that.
This whole promo was kind of jumping from one point to another without... I don't know. He was, I don't know. Then he starts talking about how he built the Forbidden Door and starts mentioning a bunch of guys on the roster. And he says we're not in the business of renaming people like Gunner McGillibuddy or something.
That was a good line.
Yeah, he got a good laugh, good cheer from that. And then they went back to booing him. And he finally gets around to challenging Sammy Guevara to a ladder match at Beach Break to unify the TNT titles. And then, of course, he climbs the ladder and raises the belt, which seemed like a very WWE thing to do, to actually just have to climb the ladder at the end of your promo. But this whole promo was just all over the place. I don't know what the hell all that other stuff was for, just to lead to that ladder match.
Yeah, it was so close to possibly being good. Right?
Like his passion is great.
Yeah, I could feel a lot of the places where he was going. Of course, there were some direct quotes from CM Punk's pipe bomb. When he mentioned New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor, like there were some direct kind of things there, but I don't know. Yeah, it fell flat, but it could have been really good. You know, taking credit for the Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
Because we do,
he tried to,
and at least I kind of forget that. You know, I don't. You know, Cody. You know, without maybe giving him all the credit, Cody Rhodes is a massive, massive, massive reason as to why we watch AEW twice a week. You know, like truly without him. I mean, he is a Rhodes after all. This man is a Rhodes. He isn't just some motherfucker who was over in a different country.
No, he's legit, and he did have a big part of this company being what it is today.
Exactly.
And the first All In and everything it led to. But I think he just tried to squeeze too much, hit too many points in this promo, and was just all over the place. And but he's always passionate, always great delivery in whatever he says. So, and he's addressing it, the whole heel thing. I'm not going to turn heel and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's out there. But let's move on, because we got Malachi Black and Brody King making his in-ring debut to take on the Varsity Blondes. I think that was another thing Cody said. He's like, yeah, a guy named Brody came in. You got balls.
He's like, you got balls to come in AEW named Brody. You balls.
Yeah, like, don't you have like 10 guys with the same name in AEW?
You're just a bunch of cages and pages over there.
Yeah. Anyways, Malachi Black, Brody King taking on the Varsity Blondes. And, just mostly a dominant performance here from the House of Black. They beat the Blondes around. They hit their finisher, the Dante's Inferno. Get the win. Just a dismantling here of the number 4 ranked team. Then afterwards, Black gets on the mic, but then Pac appears on the screen. He's got his eyes wrapped up still. He cuts a promo, but then at the end, he pulls the bandage down, which reveals his eyes. And there's no corruption there. It looks like he's healed. Or at least didn't see any face paint or anything.
Yeah, didn't see anything. It kind of, or I was gonna say almost like this Matrix, Neo Matrix Revolutions. Like a Christ thing. He can't see, but he can, he can see everything. He was holding some kind of tarot looking card.
Yeah. So we'll see. See when he comes back. He'll probably just be the same guy.
To me, though, we spoke about it a bit on the Rampage prior, though. If we're talking lady stables, Julia Hart still out there, still with that eye patch, and I've been keeping an eye on her. Getting more and more aloof towards the Varsity Blondes. I think there was one moment where I think when Griff Garrison was thrown out. And there was that bit, and then Brian Pillman Jr. was like waiting to come in, but didn't really make it happen. Instead of tending to Garrison down there on the side, doing the "Hey, how are you doing?" she just leaned back against the barricade there, thinking to myself, I don't think she cares what happens to this team.
I like it. Hopefully that's the direction they're going in, because I think Julia Hart, you're better keeping company with Malachi Black than the Varsity Blondes.
Well, we're more than that now. We're the House of Black. We're more than just Malachi.
And that's what
Black.
we need. 2 people is not enough to be a house. We need a couple more.
Some would argue that 2 is the smallest possible house.
Yeah. So either way, looking forward to progressing with this House of Black.
Yeah.
Then we get Lance Archer taking on Frankie Kazarian, who I feel like we don't see much of these days now that the roster's so stacked. Mm-hmm. But that's the way she goes. And it also appears Dan Lambert and Jake the Snake kind of working together, because Lambert was here at Archer's side.
Which was a bit bizarre. There was no Men of the Hour or anything to do like that. So
And Archer, he's kind of lining up to possibly be a next challenger for Hangman, because, Archer, he hits the blackout, gets the win, then he beats up Frankie some more until Hangman comes out, and they exchange blows. So, I don't think it's going to happen at Beach Break, but they'll probably have a title match soon.
Maybe not Beach Break. That could be a little bit close. But yeah, Hangman's over still. We got to keep that energy rocking. Which is great for him going forward.
Yeah. So that was that. Then we got women's action. Serena Deeb taking on Sky Blue, who I've seen a couple times. Young rookie here. Looking for a big win, but not quite ready for it yet. Deeb just kind of handles her with ease and locks in Serenity Now to get the tap out.
Serenity Now!
Which... yeah, this was rare. This episode of Dynamite, we had like 3 or 4 squash matches. At least 3 of them, which don't see too often, but not a big deal.
Yeah, and Serena Deeb, since turning heel, I think she's enjoyed it. And this Sky Blue, who you're right, yeah, we've seen a couple times, feels like she got like a Cora Jade vibe going on also. I guess
she looks kind of like her too.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. She's wearing Converse shoes. I'm like, hey, this is. Like she comes out with a backwards hat. I'm like, hey, you're our Cora Jade.
And I think they are. They're both like 20, 21 years old.
Yeah, which I get. Hey, I'm not gonna knock someone for that, right? Hey, there's only so many chord progressions you can put out there. Cool. Eventually someone's gonna do the same. And I think they were putting over on they were mentioned on commentary that Hikaru Shida is going to be out of action for a little while.
Yeah, they did something about her knee or something like that.
Something like that. But like we were just saying over on Rampage, right now there's 100% more belts to contend for. Serena Deeb, go make some moves, because right now I guess we both have 2 pretty established heels as both of our women's champions, so we might have to, maybe Serena Deeb, wrong place, wrong time to be the next in line for one of those championships.
Yeah. Is anyone in AEW still the NWA Women's Champ, or is that I can't remember the last time we saw.
No, I don't think I know who the champion is of that even.
Yeah. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Does NWA even exist right now?
It still exists. It still exists.
They came back. I know they were on pause, I think, during some of COVID. Are they still doing shows?
Yeah, I think they're still doing their Power show on YouTube.
Okay, that's cool. Well, let's go to the main event of Dynamite. You had the Acclaim taking on Darby and Sting. But before the bell can even ring, the Acclaim just attack. They attack Darby with a chair, wrap it around his neck, and then throw him head first into the ring post. So could be some serious damage there. The doctors go on check on him, but the ref rings the bell anyways, so Sting just kind of on his own here. 2-on-1. So the Acclaim beat him around for a little while, but then Sting fights back. He gets the Scorpion Deathlock applied, but Bowens breaks it up. So, and then outside the ring, he nails Sting with the chained boombox behind the ref's back. They go to slam Sting on the steps, but then Darby comes flying in, makes his heroic return. Then he just goes on a roll. Well, back on the stage, Sting, they set up a table, and Sting just hits a running, diving splash off the stage onto Caster, breaking through a table. So at 62 years old or whatever, he's still doing those big spots.
Yeah, he went knees first, I think, in there, actually.
Yeah, that might have hurt. But back in the ring, Darby finishes his job with a coffin drop, gets the win for him and Sting.
Yeah, when Darby came back into the match, it was great camera work because the frame was wide enough that you could see him jumping for a long time, but not so wide that you saw him running in. It was whoever that cameraman was, fucking, he's the wrestler. He's the goddamn wrestler of the week. That spot looked great.
Yeah, he just flew right in, right out of the frame.
And of course, we got the first Stinger Splash in DC in 22 years. We got the first Scorpion Deathlock on TBS in 22 years. We got Sting's first wrestling match and his first win in DC in 22 years. So congratulations to those guys.
Yeah, and like I said, Darby and Sting, I mean, I haven't checked the rankings, but they got to be up there. They win a lot more than they lose as a team.
Yeah, I don't really know where this leaves them moving forward. Is this something, do they compete for the tag titles, or does Darby Allin still go strong, right? Just kind of on his solo thing. I wonder what's next for these guys. Looking forward to see it. Also, there was a backstage promo of sorts. Because we have a business merger, I guess, between Andrade and the Hardy family office.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Because they're rich. They're rich. So remember, we've gone over this. So that means that I guess Andrade and Jose, the assistant, is now alongside Matt Hardy, Private Party, Butcher the Blade.
I just don't think it's a good investment for Andrade.
if an investment is all about a return, I don't know what the return on Andrade is. Maybe Charlotte is the return you get.
I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe Ric Flair, maybe. But do we really want to see Ric Flair? No one's giving him a microphone. You think Tony Khan's going to give Ric Flair a microphone? Yeah, fucking right.
I don't know. But, yeah, that was your episode of Dynamite. And that was pretty much the wrestling week that was.
The week that was, and the week that will always be. That was our week in professional wrestling. Let's do our final thing of the show. Let's end the show the way we always do, which is by giving you a wrestler of the week.
With the wrestler of the week, of the week. The wrestler of the week, of the week, of the week. The wrestler of the week, of the week, of the week. The wrestler of the week, of the week, of the week. The wrestler of the week.
I am going to start this one off, Mike. My wrestler of the week, I mentioned it to you a little earlier on in the week. I'm giving my wrestler of the week to wrestling reporter Ryan Satin. Satin? Satin? So he has this series of videos which are just about, just like series of interviews. So he's there on Fox. Out of Character is the name of the program. Some of them he's doing over Zoom, some he's not. And it's not kayfabe at all. And I've actually really enjoyed it. I've watched a lot of Becky Lynch. I've watched our boy Eric Bugenhagen, Rick Boogs. And actually, they're 30 to 45 minutes. They're pretty digestible. Actually, one of my favorites, I think, was actually Baron Corbin. The dude, this was a great interview. He knows what's going on. He's a smart guy. He suggested the name Happy Corbin, and I got a kick out of that. He gives you a good story. You get Becky Lynch calling her husband Colby.
Colby?
Seth, we know him as Seth Rollins. The legal judicial system knows him as Colby Lopez.
Lopez.
Exactly, right? You would never think. Yeah, it's cool if you like non-kayfabe stuff. If you're looking just for an interview you can listen to or put on or whatever, Out of Character with Ryan Satin. There's some good ones up there. I think you'd enjoy it.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna give my wrestler of the week to someone for doing some talking as well, but I'm talking about Jon Moxley, just for that great return promo. Everyone was happy to see, and I've heard he's already booked to defend. He's still the GCW champion, so he's gonna defend that in a week or two. But I'm sure we'll be seeing him wrestle on a more regular basis as well in AEW.
Fantastic. Not only AEW, New Japan World Strong.
Yeah,
their American chapter, wherever he wants to go. Just real excited to see just his wrestling career back up and running,
Yeah, looking great, Mox. I saw someone post a picture of like his last appearance between now and when he got back, and you can tell he's lost some weight. He's looking good. So good for you, Mox.
You love hearing it. Congratulations, to John. I almost called him Ron Moxley. Jon Moxley. You're the rest of the week, and that was all the time we have for the show. Thanks for listening. Rate, review, like, subscribe. The show is everywhere. And be sure to tune in next week because it will be our Rumble preview show. Mike, your favorite pay-per-view. I really can't wait.
Can't wait. Always a fun one. We'll break that all down next week.
Break it all down next week, baby. Looking forward to it. And that's all I got to say. Mike, you take care of yourself.
All right. See you next time.